Age of Sigmar news. Ben, what is going on in the world of Age of Sigmar?
Okay, so this week and weekend was the start of Nova over in the US, and Games Workshop released some awesome previews for what's coming for Age of Sigmar. And this was all following on from the Tithe, which we talked about in weekend as past over the last couple of weeks. And this is for a new army, which is called the Ossiarch Bonereapers. And they're a new vanguard of undead serving the Lord of Death himself, Nagash.
It's the Tomb Kings.
It's like Tomb Kings mixed with Indians, mixed with Persians, mixed with Chinese, mixed with Japanese. There's a whole bunch of different things, but it looks really, really cool, in my opinion anyway. So this is a force that is made up of warped and crafted bone by all the different sort of summoners and sorcerers within Nagash's thrall. Think a little bit like Wraithbone, maybe, from the Eldari, or Eldar, however you want to say it, in 40k. And so they have made these bodies of bone and then infused them with not just one soul, but hundreds of souls, dozens of souls of all these warriors that they have reaped the souls from all the different...
Oh my God, look at these models!
Yeah, so it's led by the new Mortarch called Orpheon Catacross, who is the guy who looks a lot like Xerxes from 300, standing over all his men.
Yeah.
And then he's backed up by a whole bunch of really awesome-looking models that we came to see this week. And the general consensus seems to be these are looking pretty cool. You know, they're a little bit different from the kind of undead we're used to, but they seem like a really awesome idea. A little bit like fantasy Necrons in a way, which is kind of interesting.
They are a bit like, these are AOS Necrons. They really are.
We've got the Mortec Guard, who are sort of like the frontline forces with their shields and hand weapons getting ready to get stuck in.
Okay, right.
Back and forth combat.
I'm loving it. Justin, please go back to the models one at a time to we look at them, right?
So Mortec Guard.
Okay, so whenever we started here, these are the Catacross servants, the Mortec Guard. Yep. Now, when we started looking at these, I thought to myself, they're all right. Is there models above this as well? Scroll up.
Yes, the leader.
Yeah, so firstly, the leader, right? That's an awesome looking model, I've got to say. I really, really like that. It did give me a whole Tomb Kings kind of a feel, but when Ben explained it, yep, I can see all sorts of stuff going on there.
I'm loving the sense of command that you see in this model. The little guy down the front just kneeling, holding the scroll up.
Yeah, it's a strong looking dude. Okay, go down then.
Okay, Mortec Guard.
No, these guys struck me as weird. They didn't look like skeletons, but then when you explained that it's all kind of like bone that has been warped and kind of shaped, it starts to make more sense.
So they're what? They're like skeletons wearing exoskeletons.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask you this, Lloyd. But no. What are they then? Is that bone armor?
They are bone constructs that I think like a statue that is then infused with the souls of the dead.
And there's many souls in one construct.
Yeah. So, for example, the same, like, there's always like a dominating soul that controls it, but it means that if the body falls over or something, then a new soul can come in and control it and all that kind of thing. It's a little bit like a sort of mockery of the Stormcast Eternals in a way.
Yeah.
You know, where they're like fused warriors into their armor and all that kind of thing. You've got this like weird death version of them. And the same thing sort of carries on throughout the rest of the units as well. And they all have their own personalities, a little bit like how the Necrons will sort of change with the newer editions of 40k. So the second set of the Kavalos Death Riders there, who they're like brash and impetuous, and they're all out for valor and glory and all this kind of thing. So they're probably the souls of those kind of valiant knights and that kind of thing that were roaming around the realms, and they've sort of been drawn into this new army of undeath.
So then, I've got to ask you guys, right? So what's your preference? Because, you know, I'm looking at these skellies-ish, if you want to call them that, and I'm just wondering, do you like this approach to this kind of army, or compared to, is it Harryhausen kind of skellies, or
Ray Harryhausen?
Yeah.
I kind of see what they're going for, but I always loved the design of the Tomb Kings. So that's firmly where I would plant my feet for an undead force.
Yeah. I don't know where I stand on skeleton horses. I've never seen skeleton horses done well, and I think that still stands.
I would agree.
I'm looking at these, and I'm not. Yeah, they're okay.
I don't know.
But
I like Games Workshop's skeleton horses and things.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily
I just don't like skeleton horses in general. I just think skeleton horses are an odd looking thing.
Now, if it's a zombie horse, that's fine because you've still got some of the muscular and stuff there.
A horse, right? So the thing about a horse is
a horse is a horse, of course.
A horse is a horse, of course. A horse is an intimidating thing because of its bulk, right? If a horse came at you, Justin, right, it's its bulk that would.
I know. I used to live in the countryside.
That would worry you, right? Well, I didn't mean.
There are two types of people in Ireland: those who own a horse and those who don't.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't mean to bring back scary memories of your horse thievery days.
But a couple of generations.
But once you strip the bulk off a horse, right, and it's just bones, I just don't think it makes for a very interesting or a very cool looking thing.
If you look at these, they've made the attempt to bulk them up with the additional armor and stuff that they've put onto them, and sort of that melding of the bone.
But there's also that weird rhino looking horse. Yeah. Is that a rhino or is it a horse? And a bird horse. Yeah. Scroll down a bit then to see what else there is, because the model's actually
you're also go back up a sec. You're also missing out dangling hands and stuff that are coming down.
Oh, is it that? Yeah. Oh, I like the dangly hand. But what I like most, these are my favorite models in the whole thing. Ben, I like the guys with the forearms.
They need lightsabers.
Yeah. So there was someone who put out a meme of a Stormcaster tail that looked like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then these guys as General Grievous, which was quite funny. But I'll see if I can find that and link it somewhere. But these are the Necropolis stalkers. So their whole deal is that instead of there being like a multitude of souls, etc., there are 4 souls within them who are like martial masters in combat. And so what they can do during the fighting is they change their heads and their personalities in order to fight in a different way. So if they're coming up against a certain enemy, that one version of the souls within them is better at fighting, and it'll switch to change up and fight them. So really cool.
Are the heads swappable on these, or what do you mean by that?
As in, like,
4 heads.
They've got 3 or 4 heads.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you leave them twisty? I'm thinking your man from He-Man.
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm thinking of Many Faces, and if you scroll up, you'll see Rojors, I think, as well, from He-Man.
How far up am I going?
Oh, no, right, not the top, but stop.
Here?
There he is.
This dude here, the bottom,
So yeah, they have been deeply inspired by He-Man.
Mining He-Man for this. Well, I like this, but this next model, Justin, right, go to the next one.
Quick question. What's your preference on these? Single-handed swords or the big 2 hands? Because I love the way they've done the 2-handed sword pose.
I think that'd be really awkward. How do you swing with 2 arms at the same time thing?
I don't know. I've never had 4 arms to try, so it's... right, hang on. Swing this one. Swing the other one. Swing this one.
All right, the next thing.
It's not right.
It's not right what you're doing. Right, this
and
one
it looks
here.
badass.
This is incredible.
Except if you're playing Age of Magic, then it's not going to be powerful enough.
No, I love this. I think I love all the little creepy gribbly legs. I think that is just amazing.
Well, they look like people's arms.
Well, it's a sentient or semi-sentient war engine. So it actually has like a mind of its own, but then obviously it has all the contraptions and stuff built on top of it that they're using to make it into like a catapult as well. So.
You know what you could do with this if you were looking for a bugs type army? You could probably swap the heads off this, and they would look a bit like bugs.
Yeah, you can kind of do that maybe.
Oh, I would clip Gene Stealer heads or Tyranid heads and stick Tyranid. Well, you would run it as a Tyranid army. That'd be a weird.
It could be like a genetic experiment.
And like some sort of weird,
It's gone horribly, horribly wrong.
Horribly right.
Magos, you've gone too far.
Yeah, do you know what? And these guys are called the Tithe.
Well, so the army as a whole is called the Ossiarch Bonereapers.
Oh, the
Tithe is the kind of narrative that is sort of driving forward this next stage of the fighting. So
the Ozzy Osbourne Bonereapers, right? Got it. Yeah. Lovely. What about Warcry? What's coming up?
So as well as all the news that came out for the Bonereapers, they also announced there's going to be a new expansion for Warcry. So like with what happened with Kilting, we got a couple of expansions, one that added elites and then another one that added heroes into the mix. The new sort of expansion for Warcry, which is called Monsters and Mercenaries, will add in the ability for you to field characters within your force that will either fight for you or sort of like be a third party on the table, and also a lot more monsters and that kind of the troll hunt scenario that everyone used to have in skirmish games.
Yep.
They're kind of putting that back into the mix as well. So if you want to send your warband up against a huge massive monster from the Age of Sigmar world, then there's some options in there as well, which is kind of cool. So
lovely, but too soon.
Really?
People have been saying it might be a bit too soon.
It's way too soon. That should have been first quarter of next year. Well, for many of us, Warcry is only just settling in. Okay, we need at least a 6-month season, maybe longer.
Yeah, but they are going to be starting to look towards Christmas sales for that kind of a release.
Yeah, but it's too soon. Give Warcry a little bit of space to bed in. Warcry could end up being the most popular game of all of them.
It could.
It is seriously has that potential.
I see where you're coming from, because you look at the Warcry stuff, and I've looked at it a few times now. I've been wandering through the store going, oh, that's so amazing, lifting up the boxes and all this. And that's all I've had time to do.
Yeah.
And there's another new release set coming out.
Yeah, it's too soon. It's too soon to play with the dynamic of Warcry. It's absolutely something they should do. I just wish they had sat on it for maybe another 5 months or something before looking at raising it. Because even if they didn't release that till Christmas, it's too early to talk about it because it's distracting us. We just need to keep our minds on how
what
you
would you have
effectively
preferred
play.
then? Would you have liked more warbands or expansions to existing warbands?
Give people a chance to paint the warbands
Yeah,
for the core game that's only just come out.
I don't want anything.
That's my point. When I was talking about wandering through the store, all I've had the time to do is look at it and go, oh, I want that. That's it. That's all I've had time to do. But Games Workshop's a big company and they need a lot of money.
Well, there was plenty of other product ranges they could have talked about. I just think it was too soon for that. If you think about it, right, Warcry is out. There is the rules for the other kind of war bands, okay, but there are no rules for Chaos Demons. Okay, I don't think any of the demon-y kind of armies got one. It would be nice to have had that. Yeah. But likewise, I can understand if they don't. That's fine. Yeah. If you want to release some stuff, there's been 2 fabulous terrain sets for it. The great thing about Warcry in its terrain is that every time you buy a terrain set for Warcry, you get a terrain deck in it. And this is the great thing about Warcry as an organized play system, is that everything is laid out for you.
Yeah, it's the same for everybody.
Yeah, so that terrain deck, whenever you draw that terrain card, it tells you exactly how you lay it all out. Even stretching back into their existing terrain ranges and repacks, doing some repacks with the cards for those of us that have maybe never bought that terrain. This gives you a reason to go and buy that terrain, and that's fine. That gives you that little bit of something different, but it allows people just to get the chance to get to grips with Warcry.
Now, can I buy that deck on its own, or do I absolutely have to buy that
I'm not sure.
set?
I'm not sure if you can buy the terrain decks on their own.
Because I'm just thinking, the one of the sets out there, it's the old graveyard set.
The Mausoleum.
Yeah.
Gardens of Moor.
Yeah. So if you already have that, do I have to rebuy that entire terrain set just to get the deck, or can I grab it on its own? I would like to know that. I
can't say that I have seen the decks separately. I can't say that I have. I certainly haven't seen them out in the stores that we have here. So, yeah. But that's your lot from Age of Sigmar and Warcry.